There have been a lot of comings and goings, signings and trades in the 2023 free agency in the offseason. But let's project how these players are going to do at their new stop. What's up, it's your boy Cintron, come back at you another analysis/news video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. And here, you can see from the title here, 2023 NFL offseason, projecting performances of receivers who change teams. So we'll look at the guys who swapped squads. There's a lot of picking up other people's trash and seeing if you can turn it into treasure. And also, in the interdivision signings and stuff like that as well. Just because, those players, well, you've evaluated them for 3, 4, 5 years. And, you know them just as well as their own team knows them, having scouted them for games and stuff like that. So let's see how these players are going to fare. So last year we saw Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper. The year the wide receiver, a lot of guys changed teams that were big impact players. But this year, not a lot of difference makers out there. But last year we had Christian Kirk get that 4-year, $72 million deal. But DeAndre Hopkins, he's still in the Cardinals. Odell Beckham is at large and hasn't been signed. And it looks kind of good, but it looks a little bit slower than previous years. But that's to be expected coming off of ACL, even though he did suffer that in the playoffs. Basically, in Super Bowl, not this past year, but 2021. So he's got that year off, but he's still a year older. So let's see who's who and who went where. So DJ Moore, formerly of the Panthers, 26 years old, average salary $20 million, went to the Chicago Bears, and he's past 3 years, 1,100 yards. But the big question here is Justin Fields, can he be up to snuff? DJ Moore, he's established himself as a solid receiver in the league, but it depends on Justin Fields' development. This is a codependent position. He had 63 for 800 yards and 7 TDs. I'd say he does a smidge better, maybe 900-yard mark. 1,000 would be nice, but like I said, that's expecting Justin Fields to take that next step. And he also has a plethora of weapons there. Now, him, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, a tight end, I think Frumier, nice guy around him, and also Darnell Mooney there. He's in the slot, so he's got some weapons around him. So it won't be for lack of talent, but distribution/maturation when it comes to Justin Fields. Brandon Cooks, he's going to do better in Dallas with these numbers. He's in year 10 because he came in the league. He'll be 30 this year, but he's a pretty young guy coming out of Oregon State. But Texans, he stripped his captaincy at some point during the season because he was kind of just not happy, and they weren't happy about that. I don't know how many years he has left on the deal, but it'll be an improvement over Noah Brown, who played second fiddle, and then had Gallup as well. So targets are in the question, but him being a solid number 2, 57 receptions, 699 yards, 3 TDs, he can do better than that. I'd say book him for at least 800 yards, maybe 900. 800, 900 would be a solid season. He could do 1,000 with that talent that they have there in Big D. But the question is, outside of him, they'll have a solid trio of receivers, but they'll get a new tight end up to speed. The O-line will be refurbishing a little bit, and those guys are going to be a year older. So how will they hold up, and can they buy them time and protect the quarterback there in Dallas? So Elijah Moore, low salary, $2.2 million, 3rd year. He's only 23 years old. 37, 446, easy, gonna be better. Came in a trade to the Cleveland Browns from the Jets. And Cleveland, they have Amari Cooper there. They have a couple of the solid options, but if he's they brought in a lot of guys this offseason. I don't know. But 400 yards, I would say put him in the neighborhood of 600 to 700 yards, and increase the TDs as well. But they'll have a plethora of weapons. They can't really concentrate, and they really dedicate to that ground game there in Cleveland. So and Sean, with another year under his belt, another year removed from the situation he put himself in, dumbass. But I think he'll be better, and like he'll get up to speed, new offense. But I don't know how that's gonna mesh with the new coordinator and things like that. But they got him for a little bit of a price. His price was starter, so putting value on that slot. But yeah, I mean he's got some talent, and I think they'll. Number 2, I don't think he'll be number 2. I think he'll be a slot guy. So, 46.8% of his routes came out of the slot last year. So he's versatile, but makes everybody's life there easier in Cleveland with adding this guy, this amount of talent. All right, Aaron Lazard coming over from the Packers, $11 million, 27, year 6, 60 receptions, 780 yards. Yeah, with Garrett Wilson there, and I know they have. They just got rid of Elijah Moore, but he's coming in maybe as number 2. It all depends. If Aaron Rodgers is there, I think he could actually, be in that ballpark. But I would say 700 to 800 yards for him. But it all depends, man. Like I said, Garrett Wilson is there, and they did sign Mecole Hardman, so that 708, I would say maybe 700, 750 is a good cap. But I'll stick with 700, 800. But they have requisite talent there, bringing in Mecole, speed guy, and he's going to be the possession receiver to be dependable. But the receiving TD is going to come down, reception is going to come down, and somewhere in that ballpark. I just don't see him having that much with Garrett Wilson getting the lion's share, and it's all dependent on Aaron Rodgers' data. If they don't, by some happenstance, get him, then those numbers actually plummet. But if they do, he's got the chemistry already, and the comfortability. He's gonna get targeted highly, so we'll see how that goes. But decent sign. I didn't think they'd spend that much money on him, but it is what it is. Just like this guy, Jacoby Myers, coming in from the Patriots to the Raiders, $11 million, 67 receptions, 804 yards, and 6 TDs. Yeah, I think he could actually do it a bit better, but be in the 800 to 900 yard range. I'm primarily looking at yardage. TDs and stuff like that, it's a hard thing to figure because you think a guy's gonna get this and that, and it depends on just how hot or cold he is, how depending on the defense of the day and injuries and just the guy gets hot, he just takes over, sees something on film they can exploit, whatever, and they just explode. And also with the receptions, but the yardage, it's gonna be like within a certain ballpark. But he's a talented receiver. He plays in the slot as well, so can he exploit guys? But they're gonna have a need for somebody to get the amount of targets. Darren Waller's no longer there. Devontae Adams is a clear number 1, but he's gonna step in. And Renfro is there as well, so he might play the slot. So we might see Jacoby play more on the outside here, but it all depends. And they're bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo that also has an effect. So I would say 800 and 900. So I don't know how the chemistry will be. We have no idea because, I would say, like I said, it's a codependent position, and it really depends on how those two work together, the quarterback and the receiver. All right, Juju Smith-Schuster, average $8.5 million. Thought it was like $11 million. His numbers going to be worse. Going to the New England Patriots, it's all about sharing. And sharing is caring there. And Bill Belichick don't give a fuck about your numbers. You're going to do what you need to do to help the team win. Your numbers, who gives a fuck about that? So I would say book him for like 700 yards or so. Receptions are probably going to come down. Receiving TDs might be around in the same ballpark. I would say about 3 to 5. He just hasn't been able to recapture that magic that he's had with being a number 2, and playing opposite of Antonio Brown. But he was always someone that was made by him. When he left, it was always going to impact him, and it did, and he hasn't reached that plateau since. I don't even think hasn't even had 1,000-yard season since. So, that's telling. But Mac Jones, he's just kind of hot and cold and in and out, and you don't know what you're going to get from him. So I would say, so I project 700 or so yards for Juju Smith-Schuster, Boo Boo Smith-Schuster, and he's not a great receiver. He's a solid receiver, but not about it. All right, Adam Thielen, $8.33 million going to Carolina. This is an underrated signing. Worse, I don't know who they have around him. DJ Chark there. I'd say I don't see his numbers being worse than that. I'd say give him about 800 yards. A little bit higher on the receptions and the receiving TDs, like I said, give or take, could be in that ballpark, but maybe a little bit lower, 5 or 4. But he's still got some talent. 33 years old, he will be. But it's all comes down to usage. Frank Reich, I don't know what role they're gonna put him in. More of a slot receiver as he was early in his career, and he still moonlights there, or an outside receiver. But they were gonna be bringing in a rookie quarterback. So yeah, I just thought about that. I forgot about that. So let's bring it down. I would say like 500. No, not even 5. That's low. 600 to 700 yards is a good ballpark for him, because it just it depends a lot on how quickly that guy acclimates that they're bringing in, and we just don't fucking know. C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson or Bryce Young. We have no idea who's going to be. Most likely Bryce Young or C.J. So we'll see. But yeah, the numbers are going to come down. They're rebuilding. So hate to break to Adam. All right, Robert Woods going to the Texans. Basically a Brandon Cooks replacement. They're bringing in here. He's 31. In year 11, $7.6 million. So, good deal for them. With the Titans last year, 53 receptions, 527 yards. And this is another one. We have no idea who's going to be there. 500 yards. You gotta believe he's going to improve on that. So, but I would say like 600, maybe 800, on a good year. But I would say 600 to 700 yards projected. And, it's just, he got better as the year went on. But he's always been a possession receiver, and who's going to be the threat opposite of him? Nico Collins, John Mechie, yeah, like you said here, it's a wild card, and they bring in Young. He's going to have more chemistry with John Mechie, who he played with at Alabama, and if it's C.J. Stroud, we'll see. But both those guys are going to have to acclimate playing for one of the worst teams. Yeah, it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be a lot of patience exercised there under the new head coach, D'Amico Ryan's watch. So, not a supremely successful year projected for you, sir. Noah Brown. All right, McCole Hardman, $4.5 million. They got a steal there. He's going to obviously improve upon these numbers. 25 for 297 yards, 4 TDs. He was just hurt. That hip injury held him out. He probably, I would say 600 to 700 yards you can project for him. And, it depends on his health and how he looks coming in. Because you run hot and cold. He's a speed threat, but intermediate routes, is he really going to focus on that? And that area is going to be targeted. Aaron Rodgers can do a lot with him now, so it depends. But they got weapons there, and he might be the third option. I don't think he's going to be the second option. And Alan Lazard just, that chemistry with Aaron Rodgers hurts him in this case. So, 700 yards maybe peak, and more likely 600 to 700. So, he's a talented receiver, but yeah, he hasn't it's never, put it all together when the season hasn't yet clicked for him. Will it this year? And will he stay healthy? It's yet to be seen. All right, Deontay Hardy, I know little about him. 2 receptions for 13 yards is easy to say. Improvement. Yeah, even if he's a number 4 receiver, you got to believe he's going to get more than that. Played in 4 games, so could be a bit of an ascending talent. Trent Sherfield, don't know shit about him. 30, 40, 117. Goes to the Buffalo Bills. I'd say it might could stay in that same area, but I would say at the most like 500 yards because there's so many options there. Gabe Davis, Stephen Diggs. So he's battling like for the third, receiver spot. And yeah, he's replacing the guy, but I don't see him as a burner. He's more of a solid guy. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, 500 yards, 600 if he's lucky. But I would say more likely 500. So, and that's all we have for our projections. Tomorrow we will get to the quarterbacks, which are easier to project, but yeah, I mean it could be easier just to project, say that they'll have that they'll do better or worse, and give a general projection because it depends who their schedule is as well. But let's look at a few things around the league here. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the owner, says Jaguars has finally cracked the code to sustain success. Okay, because you guys believe that you had it the last time, and you advanced to the AFC Championship game. We're on the verge of, you were leading in the game, beating Brady, and then you collapsed. So, sustained success, pause, is a fleeting thing in the NFL. It can be. You think you have it, and then it escapes you, and then you're grasping for straws, and all of a sudden you're hiring your new head coach that you thought you had in the last hiring cycle. But I think Peterson is a good coach. He can establish that culture there if he's able to do that and really change those guys, the mindset and the atmosphere there in Duval and Jacksonville. Then he'll have a run of success, but it all depends on how they allow him to bring ingredients to that team and assemble it. If he's allowed to cook, man, they can do some work there. So let's see, anything else notable around the league? Not really. So we'll end the video here, but anyways, you're not even watching though. It's all good though, because as we always say, fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.